having electric vehicles. And now with this whole thing with the oil crisis, and I don't even know if it was considered an oil crisis because how long did it last? But this big pipeline gets hacked and sends everybody into paranoia. What are some of your thoughts on this thing?
Again, it's one of these things that is you hear it and it sounds like a fucking movie. Cause like, to me, it didn't affect me. Again, like,
I don't own a car.
kind of like for me, like I said, when COVID happened, I was already a homebody regardless. Like, it
Me
didn't
too.
affect the change of what my life was, how it was going, and it impacted it when I went out a little annoying, but for the most part, I was majority home anyway. So when this whole pipeline shit going on, and I'm like, I understand like people were trying to pin at first before this whole pipeline shit came out. People were trying to pin, gas prices going up, but like gas prices always go up when it's summertime, like always. Like they even went up under Trump. Now, don't get me wrong, at $2, $2.25 to go up to $2.50 is different than going from $3 to $3.50. Like that's different. So when I just seen the gas prices going up, I'm like, all right, it's summertime. Restrictions are about to get lifted. People are going to be driving a shit ton more than they did last year. Like we returned our car, and it was a lease, and we had like almost 12,000 miles we didn't use. So, but them saying they got cyber attacked, they reminded me of like the shit with the movie with fuck this guy's name, the ball guy. Fuck, what's his name? Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Bruce
Oh yeah,
Willis.
Die Hard 4.
When they
Right?
were hacking the central
Yes.
servers and shit like that. That's why I thought of first. I'm like, oh shit. It's kind of crazy. Supposedly they paid the hackers $5 million.
That's how
So
I got turned back on.
that's how I got turned back on, and they released it or whatever.
Mostly these guys are from Eastern Europe, and the name of the group that's responsible is called Dark Side, which is kind of a cool name. Not cool what they did, but that's kind of G that the group has a name. I don't understand. Like this is another thing too. Okay, the baby boomers are in charge, right? And then you got like Gen X in there or Gen Z. I forget which gen it is, right? How are we still getting caught with our pants down? Like I get like we got hackers, but it's like why is the US at times behaves like it's so behind, right? On so many fronts. Like why are you not hiring the best hackers on the planet saying, "Look, they've done it before." I feel like Apple's done it. A couple companies like break my phone, I'll give you $10 million, and then when they break it, they're like, "All right, cool. Show me everything you broke. I'll fix all that shit, and now it's unbreakable." Right? Why? If this is one of the hugest oil pipelines in the nation, why didn't you bring somebody in to make sure your shit couldn't get broken into? Right? Same thing with crypto. Right? Some of these, old world thinkings. Right? That's why I left New York City. Everybody's fucking in the behind, the curve, not ahead of the curve. That's why I'm here in Cali, even though it's Mother Cali. It's still like people are trending and trying to be on the cusp of things and breaking through and trying new things. It seems like most of the country is not built like that. And I just don't understand. Like, we're still having cyber attacks. Like, what the fuck is like Walmart and Target when they stole the credit cards? Remember when they had that big cyber? I'm like, bro, if you're Walmart, I'm like, hey, yo, get on the phone, find out who the best hackers on the planet are, bring them all in, right? Isn't that worth more? I'd rather pay those guys $20 million than some ransom to some dude and make sure my shit is flawless. Because that only tells me that they probably could get in again.
Yep. And then it reminds me. I know it's a movie, but in that movie with Bruce Willis, the guy says he went to the Joint Chiefs of Staff and said, "Listen, I could hack this system. Your system is hackable." And who's to say that, there was a guy out there who probably went, or a group said, "Hey, listen, your shit is hackable. In order to fix it, it's gonna cost $25 million." And they were like, "Nah, we don't want to spend that money." And look, it shoots you in the foot. So you got a lot of these old heads who don't see things rationally or don't want to try to be ahead of the curve, like you just said, for whatever reason. Like it's a power play to them. It's one of these things where like, oh, we're in charge. We're the father figure here. We'll let you know what you're gonna do. It's weird and it's strange. It's strange the path we're on.
And I think that's going to be the demise of the states. Whether the demise of the states is us dying forever or us coming up and them going down. Because they're not getting hip on the science. They're not getting hip on the technology. I mean, it's just like this is it's a part of it. Like it's cool for you. Like even with me, bro. So shout out. I don't know if I sent it to him, but shout out to the Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou goes on the site, says, "Yo, invest in Ethereum." I'm like, this motherfucker don't know shit. He invested, I think it was like 1,000, and I was acting like an old head. I should have put 1,000 in. It went up to $4,000, right? And that's why I always, and this is gonna sound terrible, but I always blame my parents' thinking. Like that shit is embedded in me to say no, to be like, no, that's not gonna be it. That's not gonna be. What does Gary Vee always say? Be an early adopter. I know a lot of people don't like this guy, but Ty Lopez, same fucking shit. Early adopter. All these features. Mark Cuban, be an early adopter, right? And to break that down for people, that means jump ahead on it. So what? Put $10, put $100, see what happens. Don't be like, bro, I can't tell you. I missed out on fucking on Bitcoin when it was $7. I missed out on it when it was $10,000. Someone told me, hey, yo, hey, movies in boxes are going to work. I'm like, get out of here. Redbox explodes, right? Like, there's been so many times that I'm thinking with that old head mentality, like, what are you talking about?
Nobody's gonna watch TV on the TV. Nobody's gonna watch the streaming movies to the TV. And that was a thing too. You know, you had a lot of those things. You look at Blockbuster. They laughed Netflix out the room. So
and it blows my mind. Like, same thing. Macy's, Bloomingdale's, all you motherfuckers. Why didn't you go online already? Right? What are you doing? You're closing down stores. Amazon and eBay literally showed you the cheat code, right? Put your shit online. Start closing stores. That way you could like consolidate and then teach the people in the stores, okay, cool. You could be personal shoppers. We'll give you a computer. You stay home and you run that server, that area, that thing. Someone can hit you any time of day like, hey, do you got size? Oh, I don't got it, but let me check us in Texas, blah, 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 blah. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're dragging our feet. Same thing with fucking school. Why are we still handing out notebooks? Why are we still handing out textbooks? Give each fucking kid a tablet, right? Download all the books, send the fucking things. Like, even we're delaying our kids.
I was talking about my friends yesterday, how she sent a video of her daughter, and her daughter was like, she was on a laptop, and she was like, like in class like this, not enthusiastic about it. And I was thinking to myself, because like what I want to do next is I would like to homeschool my kids, because I think like people don't understand, like public school is trained for your kids to be workers and to take directions, and then that's it. I want my kids to be excited about learning. I don't care about being excited about going to school. I want my kids to be excited about learning anything new. Because that curiosity and that learning something, that sticks with you when you're 20, when you're 25, when you're 50, when you're 40, whatever. Growing up, because you just want to be curious and want to continue to learn. I don't want my kids to be like, oh, I got to go to school again. This is so boring. Why do I got to do this? I already know what 5 plus 5 is. Like, I want my kids to be, all right, oh shit, I learned yesterday, blah, 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 blah. I learned how to do this yesterday, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're going to learn this tomorrow. I'm excited about learning this tomorrow. Oh, but what about this? Like, I'm fortunate that my oldest is like that. But my youngest is sometimes like, oh, I guess I'll do this. I got to write another sentence. I got to write this shit 5 times each. Like, it's just stupid things like that I wish we could upgrade. Because like even Elon Musk, he says he takes his kids and he has his own school. And the school teaches all the kids, no matter what age they are, the same thing. So even if you're 13, you get taught what somebody who's 7 is. If you're 7, you get taught what 13. I think that's the way to do it. You help everybody. And then, we have these lazy ass teachers and everybody has a union and I get unions. Like I understand unions. But sometimes the unions just shoot themselves in the foot and eradicate themselves, make themselves invaluable in a thing. So like now, I know somebody who works in Verizon. Across the board, has always been that work productivity has been up if you work from home. Because you don't have to wake up. You can just wake up, turn on, do your shit. You're moving and grooving. So now the company wants to keep the co-workers at home. But the union wants the workers to go in the building.
Because they get paid.
Exactly. They get paid extra union due money. and stuff
Exactly.
like that. So that's why he goes bullshit because it's not the best interest of the union workers. It's the best interest of the union president, the union vice president, whoever's running the union because the union itself is a business.
Back in the day, it was dope. Once it started paying fools out, now it's got like it's not. It's like everything. It's like the police force. It's like politics. It's like all this shit. Once there's a couple of heads, those are the only guys that are profiting. Those are the guys that are only killing it. Those are the guys that are only enjoying all the fun stuff. Everybody else is grinding. Do you think it's fucking fair for a fucking teacher to be earning $35,000 a year, especially with all the shit that they got to deal with? And now you added COVID into that. You know what I mean? And then now again, by the way, why are we still mining coal? You guys gotta be fucking kidding me, right? Like, what happened to hydro, electric, right? Like, it's just like and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the nutshell of the discussion. There are so many people who have their hands on the steering wheel that are just focused on the old school way of doing things.
Like Elon Musk, he said those giga centers. He said if you do 100 giga centers in Utah, it powers the whole United States. But are we ever going to do that? Fuck no. Why? Because there's so many people getting money.
Right. It's the same thing with having solar. They had to change the game because they were getting pissed that they weren't paying. So they're like, you know what? Fuck this. First, we're going to charge the people that have electricity more electricity things. Now we're going to create a thing that's called prime hours or peak hours. So now we rape you from fucking 6 to 8. And then y'all other motherfuckers, we're going to figure out how to hack y'all. It's the same thing with tobacco, right? It's like, okay, tobacco, you're losing money, right? You got the jewel, let's say. Stop making jewels. Fuck, we're losing our ass. Okay, go to get some lobbyists, say state, make marijuana illegal, and now I have Marlboro marijuana.
Yep.
The innovation at these levels, and we can literally go through every spectrum and every kind of sector. We just dragging our ass, bro. And I gotta tell you something. We're still not fucking putting money in infrastructure. We're not getting ahead of the curve. Even with school, like you said, my kid, he's the same way. He's like, fuck, this boring shit again, right? We're not getting creative. We're not teaching them innovative things,
and then
right?
and then you're teaching these kids difficult things like instead of saying addition, they go what they go instead of saying addition or adding, it's called counting on. Like, why are we changing the verbiage of what adding is?
Yo, what in the fuck did they do with that?
And then it goes, oh, round to the 10, or get away to 10, or number bonds. Then number bonds to number sentences, and then Eureka math, and this nonsense. Like, why are we making this shit so difficult? You know?
Bro, I couldn't even teach my kid fucking math. Because they're like, no, that's not how they show it anymore. You got to go up 10 and down 10, and then to the left and to the right, and then that's your number. I said, what about if I have 5 items and I take away 2? We don't do that shit anymore.
Exactly.
You got 10 items and I take away 3. Where the fuck are we at? How did they even complicate math? And that's the thing. It's like we're not simplifying some of this stuff, right? And no offense, look, you should know your math, but give the motherfucker a calculator. Teach them how to use a calculator. Like, we should be ahead. Why are we still using an abacus? Right? It's like we're fucking like, like, I get it. Show your work. But are we trying to go ahead? We still practice before.
Here's my only thing, but I get that showing the work thing is just to show it has your brain move thinking and critically thinking and saying, all right, if I explain this, then you're gonna dive and look into something more deeper. So I get that part of it.
I told it too.
Mentally.
It's like even in high school they didn't want you to use calculator. Right? Like my mom, she knows how to fucking kick ass on a calculator. Why do I have to wait to 12th grade to get to calculus to learn how to fucking use a calculator and use a percentage? Bro, as a restaurant guy, as a bartender, I've had to use it and I'm like, I don't know how to use this. Never was taught. Right? It's okay. It's a 5th grade, let's say you start, once you get the basics down, like there's so many things you could do in a calculator that trump so much other shit. Like I get it, but again, I don't want to like drag this thing on too long, but it just seems like America as a superpower is not really using the superpowers that we should be using. And this is not going to be the last hack, and this is not going to be the last time we get caught with our pants down with some kind of virus. It's not the last time that some shit's going to get fucked up. Like I was telling my man, shout out to Uncle Salty, we're on the Titanic. In my opinion, we're headed for a fucking iceberg, and this thing is gonna sink, and it's just inevitable. It's just inevitable. The only thing right now is that other parties that be are not on our level financially. But we should be worried about China. And I don't mean in the sense of like they're our enemy, but in the sense of what they're using money to be spending on. Right? I think I read somewhere some economist was like 10, 20 years, China's going to trump us in the way that they're building into China. Like they're soaking shit. Like we're building roads, we're building bridges, we're building buildings, we're teaching, we have longer school years. You know, all of our kids go to college, like shit like this that America, and I'm not saying that college is for everybody, but it's like none of that shit we do here. It's just, again, the tops find their pockets and they go, fuck everybody. We're good.
Basically.